All right, guys, it's hump day. That's cranberry juice, if you were wondering. It's good for breakfast. But it is hump day. I have a hump day editorial for you. You're going to love this one. You're going to love it. Now, this happened a week ago, and I just found out about it today, this morning. And it's reference a part-time police officer, but he has been a police officer since 2015. So going between 4 and 5 years, depending on what time of the year he became a cop. But he's a part-time police officer for at least over 4 years that did something we keep seeing amongst police officers. And it's all walks of life. Now, this is everyone in every occupation and every human being does this. But again, it's not something you expect from a law enforcement officer. Law enforcement officers should be trusted. They should be people that children and teenagers can go to for help, not, come here, little boy. But we're seeing it again. Thank you to the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Post-Gazette, thank you for this story. We're going into it. A part-time Verona police officer has been charged with giving a 16-year-old boy alcohol and marijuana and exchanging naked pictures with him after the two met on Grindr, a gay dating app, according to a criminal complaint. Anthony Ogline, 34, of Verona, was arrested after police found him with a teen on Friday, a day after the officer picked up the alleged victim at school in the middle of the day, alarming school officials and leading them to call police. As of Wednesday evening, Officer Ogline was being held in the Allegheny County Jail, awaiting arraignment. He is charged with unlawful contact with a minor, possession of child pornography, criminal use of a communications facility, a corruption of minors, tampering with evidence, and furnishing alcohol to a minor. Verona police relieved Officer Ogline of his duties Friday after learning of the investigation and suspended him without pay, Carrie Del Rosso, the borough's spokesman, said. His termination will be considered, or was considered, at a January 28th borough council meeting. And again, he joined the force in 2015. Police said the teen told them that he and the Officer Ogline met about 3 months ago through Grindr. The teen told Officer Ogline that he was 17 and asked if Ogline was okay with that, the complaint said. It says Ogline replied, "That's okay. Consent is 16 years old." The two exchanged messages with sexual content until they met in person about 3 weeks ago, the complaint said. Officer Ogline asked the teen for naked pictures and in turn sent nude pictures to the alleged victim, according to the complaint. On the morning of January 17th, the teen asked Officer Ogline to pick him up from school. The officer told the youth he could stay with him for a few days, the complaint says. School officials grew concerned and called the police about a student leaving in the middle of the day with an unknown male. The investigation of the missing persons case began with Whitehall Police. Now, Chief Keith Henderson, the Whitehall Police Chief, declined to say where the teen was from, but said he was not from Whitehall and the school in question was not in the Baldwin-Whitehall School District. While at the officer's house, the teen smoked pot and drank alcohol, according to the complaint, and the two had sexual contact, police said. By Friday, Whitehall police had located the teen via tracking his cell phone and determined that he was at Officer Ogline's house in the 400 block of West Railroad Avenue, the complaint said. Whitehall police went to the address, but there was no answer, and they asked for the county's help. County detectives responded, and a short time later, Officer Ogline drove up with the teen, according to the police. On Friday, the detectives found lewd pictures of the teen in both phones' Snapchat app, the complaint said, but when they looked at them again Wednesday, the information on Officer Ogline's phone had been removed. So the 17th, I guess, is that Friday that they were looking at the phones. And then the next Wednesday, which would be the 22nd, the information had been removed from Officer Ogline's phone. So that's the tampering with evidence. Now, again, here's another one where parents, you're going to have to watch your kids. What are they doing on the internet? And what are they doing with these apps that are out there? But not only that, a cop. I mean, a cop. This isn't like Joe Blow, the janitor, or John, the plumber, or Dave, the mechanic. And if any of you are in those occupations, I'm sorry, I'm just naming occupations. But it's not like, some non-Leo that just happens to be a creeper. This is a cop. Even though it's a part-time cop, he wears a badge. He's a police officer. And you would expect him to be trusted by the youth and be able to be around your youth and be a mentor and a leader and an example. Instead, he's a pedophile. Alleged. I have to say alleged because if they justify it somehow, I don't know, you know how law enforcement goes sometimes. But if he's, gets away with this, then of course. So this is all an allegation at this point. But he is suspended without pay, and they're looking at terminating him. Now, I don't know. I did go through this story this morning. I haven't seen anywhere where he was terminated or where they've made a final decision. But, of course, the council's meeting was last night, the 28th. This is the 29th. Don't get upset if I don't have the information. Somebody yesterday got so cotton picking mad because I didn't say the officer was charged. Well, when they did that, that's the Maryland cop. And when they did the press conference in the morning, he hadn't been charged at that point. They didn't charge him till later in the day. I had already done my editorial on the press conference. So come on, guys. It's called updated information. It's called, I can't think right now, but at this point, I guess what I'm saying is we don't know if this guy was terminated or not. The city council meeting was last night. I searched this morning. I haven't seen any information. If you come across the information, you can just let me know. Don't get all upset and go, you lying cocksucker. Hey, I can only go with the information that's being given at that time. If you want to thank someone for the Post-Gazette story, thank Jonathan D. Silver. Jonathan D. Silver, who on Twitter is JSilverPG. Thanks, John, for this story. We appreciate you covering it and exposing this cop. Now the whole nation knows about it via Community Leo Watch, because I do watch Leos. That's law enforcement officers here on Hump Day. From coast to coast, I'm watching all of you. You are going to be held accountable, and you are going to have transparency through my editorials. Thank you guys for watching. More editorials to come later this week.